So, what do you think the absolute limits for life are? You know, we tend to picture this really narrow, cozy little zone. But what if I told you that across the most hostile, the most brutal places on our own planet, there are organisms that don't just survive, they thrive? We're about to dive into their absolutely incredible world.
Yeah, you heard that right. It turns out that pretty much every single rule we thought we knew, every line we drew in the sand about where life can exist, has been utterly and completely shattered.
And you got to focus on that word thrives. This is so important. We're not talking about survivors, things that are just barely hanging on. No, these are life forms that actually need these insane conditions to live. I mean, what would be a complete hellscape for you and me is literally paradise for them.
And here's the really cool part. By digging into their secrets, we're not just flipping biology textbooks on their head here on Earth. Oh no, we are actually creating a roadmap, a guide for answering one of the biggest questions we could ever ask. Are we alone out there in the universe?
Okay, so first things first. Let's just completely blow up our old assumptions about where life is supposed to be and where it shouldn't. So remember in school, we all learned about the Goldilocks conditions for life, right? Everything you see there on the left. But the reality? The actual places we found life? Well, that's what you see on the right. We have found things not just surviving, but thriving in all of these so-called impossible places. We're talking boiling volcanic springs, the crushing pitch-black depths of the ocean, and even frozen solid inside ancient ice. Now, finding these things wasn't some single aha moment. It was more like a series of scientific earthquakes, one after another, that forced us to literally tear up the old biology textbooks and start from scratch.
I mean, these breakthroughs just kept coming in waves. Back in the 60s, we find this microbe, Thermus aquaticus, just chilling in a boiling hot spring. Boom! That shattered the known temperature limit for life. And by the way, that little guy later gave us the tech for PCR, revolutionizing DNA testing. Then, fast forward to 1977, we stumble upon entire ecosystems at deep-sea vents, proving life didn't need the sun at all. It could be powered by the Earth itself. By the 90s, all these discoveries forced scientists to completely redraw the tree of life, adding this whole new domain called archaea. Each discovery was a total dogma killer.
So the big question is, how on earth do they pull this off? Well, it's not magic. It's all about an incredible set of molecular masterpieces, forged and perfected by billions of years of evolution.
Okay, get ready for this one. How do you survive a dose of radiation that will kill a human 1,000 times over? I mean, just think about that. Well, let me introduce you to Deinococcus radiodurans, a microbe so tough it's nicknamed Conan the Bacterium. This thing can take radiation blasts that would shred the DNA of pretty much any other living thing. And for years, scientists were totally stumped.
And its secret? It's brilliantly, completely counterintuitive. See, it doesn't really focus on protecting its DNA. Instead, it protects the repair crew. It's got this manganese-based shield that keeps all its repair proteins perfectly safe. So then, the bacterium just lets its DNA get shattered by radiation. Once the danger's gone, that pristine toolkit gets to work and flawlessly stitches the entire genome back together in a matter of hours. It's an incredible strategy. Protect the tools, not the blueprint. All right, let's switch gears from extreme radiation to extreme cold. Now, inside a living cell, a growing ice crystal is basically like a tiny, sharp dagger that's going to shred it from the inside out. So, how does life in polar regions stop this from happening? They do it by making these amazing little molecules called antifreeze proteins. Now, this is nothing like the antifreeze you put in your car. These proteins don't just, lower the freezing point. They do something much cooler. They physically grab onto the surface of tiny ice crystals just as they start to form. The analogy here is just perfect. Think of one of these proteins as a grain of sand getting caught in a zipper. It physically jams the works and stops that ice crystal from growing any bigger. It's ingenious. But maybe the most profound, the most mind-bending discovery of all was finding out that entire, complex ecosystems could exist in total, permanent, absolute darkness. Look, we all learn in school that pretty much all life on Earth is powered by photosynthesis, getting energy from the sun. But down at these deep-sea vents, there's a completely different system running the show, chemosynthesis. Instead of using sunlight, these microbes use raw chemical energy spewing from the planet itself, things like hydrogen sulfide. This was an absolute revelation. It meant life doesn't need a star to thrive. It can be powered by the planet itself.
And this leads us to one of the absolute strangest animals on the planet, the giant tube worm. This thing is a biological marvel. I mean, it has no mouth, no stomach, no anus, no digestive system at all. Its body is basically just a big sac, an organ packed with bacteria. The worm's bright red plume sucks up oxygen and toxic chemicals from the vent water, and its blood delivers this cocktail to the bacteria. In return, the bacteria create all the food the worm needs to live. It's this perfectly self-contained symbiotic world, hidden in the dark.
So, what does all this mean for the big search? The search for life beyond Earth? Well, in a word, everything.
What these extremophiles have done is completely redefined what a habitable zone even is. It's not just about that perfect little orbit around a star where liquid water can exist on the surface. No way. A habitable zone could be a deep subsurface ocean on an icy moon, warmed by the pull of its giant planet. It could be miles deep inside a planet's crust. Basically, anywhere you find three things, energy, nutrients, and some kind of liquid, you might just have a shot at life.
And this gives us a direct roadmap, a set of real-world examples to guide our search. So when we look for life on Mars, a cold, dry, high-radiation world, we look to Earth's driest deserts and coldest valleys. We look for microbes that live inside rocks, using the rock itself as a shield from radiation. And when we think about Jupiter's moon Europa, with its massive hidden ocean, what's our best model? It's Earth's deep-sea vents. We're looking for life that loves pressure, that loves chemical energy, and doesn't need a sun. These extreme places on our planet are literally our dress rehearsals for finding life on other worlds. So the ultimate takeaway here is this. Extremophiles prove that life is so much more stubborn, so much more inventive than we ever imagined. It has conquered just about every impossible niche on our own planet. And that leaves us with one final incredible question to think about. If life can do all of this here, where else in the cosmos might it be hiding?